Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Ask the Arts. Today we have a very special guest, Alyssa Curtayne, with us. Welcome, Alyssa.
Hi, it's lovely to be here.
Oh, I'm so grateful for you taking the time and coming and sharing your amazing creative journey with us. That's the reason why I started doing all of this, because I really wanted to show people that there's not a cookie cutter way that you can be creative, and everyone is creative in their own way and in their own time. So how did you do it?
How did I get started? Well, I've avoided it for a long time, because I've felt I had to earn money, so I had to do all that. So I did my creativity in my spare spaces in the holidays and after school and wherever I could fit it in. And I've got books, like I've got a big pile of books next to me of all my story ideas that I've written down, not including the ones on my phone or, in other places that I've kept them. So for years I've had them just lying around, and it's only in the last 6 months that I've actually really said, this is it. If I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. So I've made the decision to follow a creative life. I mean, I did probably about 5 years ago, I made the decision to take my writing seriously and my creative work seriously. But this year it's game on. So I'm fully immersed in everything, creating and writing and stories and everything.
So what's your favorite way to be creative at the moment?
Look, at the moment, I really love the research process. I really love following the rabbit hole to wherever it takes me. And sometimes, like I'm writing a novel at the moment, and the starfish is a part of it. And then I went down the starfish rabbit hole, and then I went down the mermaid rabbit hole, and now I'm in this origins of mermaids pit of, oh my goodness, there's so much information here. I don't know what to do with all this information. So I'm a bit I get right into it. So when I do research, I don't just do the surface. I spend quite a lot of time digging, and I really do love the research process, because I think if in my mind I've got that and then I sleep on it, that means the story comes out better, because it's sat with me and in my energy and in my brain, and it comes out in a different way. And that's exactly what's happening with the story at the moment.
We've got such a similar process like that. I didn't think I would like research when I did my historical fiction. I was thinking, oh, this is like, it's going to be just draining and it's going to be hours Googling. And I loved it. I really loved it. And I think exactly what you said, we do so much behind the scenes information gathering, and then we write in our head before we even touch paper. It's definitely a process that everybody does differently, but it's so lovely to have a kindred spirit in you, so that if I said to that's right, oops, I forgot that I had to feed the children who are in my house because I was too busy like writing stories in my head, you would know exactly what I was
Oh, I
talking
know
about.
exactly. Look, I've had moments. I have a routine where I get up when I'm not having to go out and work for money. I get up, and by 9 o'clock, I'm on the computer or at the library doing stuff. And sometimes I'll sit there until 9 o'clock that night and go, oh, oops, I haven't eaten all day. And my children are grown now, so I don't have to worry about feeding other people except the cat. But I lose a whole day. Well, not lose a whole day. I spend a whole day immersed in whatever I'm doing, and I love it. It's just, I feel so alive when I'm in that space of creation. And I've got tingles. I feel really purposeful. I feel like this is it. This is why I'm here. Not going out to do the wages thing, but this is why I'm here. It's really feels incredible.
Absolutely, totally agree. See, I have boys who just open the fridge or the cupboard and just stare blankly and go, there's nothing to eat. So I need to like direct, that's edible, that's edible, that's edible. Doesn't matter how old they are, they're still doing that to me.
Yeah.
I love that you can differentiate the purpose that you have in life from the you that needs to be the practical income earning, and the you that to be happy and fulfilled and purposeful, you need to be creative and spending that time honoring your creativity. Have you always been like that, like ever since you were a kid, or is this something that you're embracing now as an adult?
I think I suppressed it a lot. I had imaginary friends when I was a child. I spent a lot of time in books. I would say that when I was little, all I ever wanted to be was a character in a book, like to literally be in the book, like an ink art or something. And I actually get to do that now as a storyteller. I get to be in the story and as a creator or co-creator of the story. No, I wouldn't say, I think I suppressed it for a long time because life just gets in the way. And that is the real tragedy, I think, of modern life is if everybody was able to follow their heart into their creative path, can you imagine the world we could create if everyone was able to have the freedom to do that? And in fact, one of my great out there crazy dreams is to be able to fund people, to be able to earn so much money that I can give artists like a 12-month scholarship just to follow their art for 12 months and not have to worry about survival. It's really important because I think the things that people can create are the things that are not being created while people are in survival. We'll never see a lot of those things, and that's really sad. Yeah, could make the
I
whole
think
world very different.
Yeah, and I think that really did come from when we were kids, and when um, grown-ups could see that I really loved writing, and I was really spending a lot of time doing that. That one of the first things that they said to me was, "That's a hobby. That's not a job. So you can do that, but that you need to also grow up and choose a real job." And it took me a long time to get that out of my head. Like for a long time, I kept thinking, oh, well, I can't do this as a career because everyone says that it's just playing and make believe and mucking around, and it's not. Like if that's what fills you up, and if that's your joy, and if that's your talent, telling a kid that their talent is not purposeful or is not practical or is not something that they can actually do, and when they grow up, I just think that you don't realize when you are talking to creative kids the impact that you can have on them if you belittle their dreams or their talents in a way. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I've been a teacher for a very long time. And, nurturing people, seeing what people are good at and fostering that. It's a really important thing because it helps with our identity. I mean, this generation is pretty lucky because people look out for those things. That when we were growing up, it was be a teacher, doctor, nurse, lawyer, mechanic. Like we didn't have the choice that children have today. And I think, it'd be a very different experience for us growing up now, I think. Having people who can see our talents and what we can do with that. Yeah.
But I think that's also made us fighters even more for the next generation,
Yes.
because in a lot of ways it is absolutely a little bit easier for them, but at the same time we still are stuck, especially in Australia, with this mentality of we promote kids into sport, and yeah, and
the arts don't get funding for
no.
a start, and they also don't get pages in media or if there was a section in the news on the latest arts news. Imagine the culture we could create with that if we just looked at things differently and how we spoke about creativity as a successful means of being in the world rather than doing. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think you hit the nail on the head there when you're talking about culture. We need to initiate a culture of the arts being just as important and visible and accessible as all of the other pathways for kids. Yeah. So I totally agree. Oh my gosh, we're just such kindred spirits already. I love it. So you can fund people to come and stay on my big commune that I'm going to make so that artists can just come to my acres and acres and just be and create. So
deal.
I love that we're going to manifesting that together. What's the best thing about what you're doing now that you're really owning it and embracing it and going,
Yeah.
you know what, this is me, this is what I do. What's the best part of that happening for you now?
I don't have to pretend anymore. My identity has been built around being a teacher or, you know, moving in that space. And the biggest shift has primarily been around my sense of my own identity, of who I am and my legacy that I wanted to create for my children and the world that I'll leave behind at some point in the future. Yeah, it'd be that, I reckon.
I love it. And I know you're still working and this is a work in progress. What's the hardest part of what's happening with you right
Hardest part is
now?
balancing time and money. Um, so I've worked this morning, for example, and this afternoon is my creative time. And in the in between, there's that transition of wash off the day and then get into it. And it's, for me, the biggest challenge at the moment is time, but also I've just started being really specific with my priorities, and I've created a product as a result of that. But I've got so many ideas, so many half-started projects that I needed a system where I could actually start finishing them. And now I've got the system in place, I feel like I'm moving through my goals and finishing these stories that are floating here, like, and I'm starting to finish them, and it's really great. I feel they're not just in my space anymore. I'm being able to gift them to the world and find their readers or find their listeners or, you know, find their place in the world. Yeah.
Love that. And if somebody watching is where you were 6 months ago or 12 months ago, if there is any little mini-me's like those girls that were us back in the day watching, what advice would you give to them?
Life's too short. Life's too short to sit in a job you hate, to sit in a relationship that's not working, to not follow your dreams. Because when at the end of our lives, when we are lying on our deathbed and we look back and we go, well, what we're not going to worry about how much we worked for somebody else. We're going to go, oh, I'm so glad that I followed that heart dream. Because if you don't follow the heart dream, it ends up suffocating you because, well, for me, I can talk from my experience. It ended up suffocating me because I wasn't listening to the heart calling, and that led to side effects that are not very healthy. So so advice for someone who is in the, like, start today. Start today. It's just a one little step at a time. You're not trying to eat the whole elephant. You want to just take one bite of the elephant today and another bite tomorrow. Skip Wednesday, it doesn't matter. Like, it just a little bite every day, and then that moves you toward. And if I think about my process, I actually, first time I really remember writing the start of a novel, which I've never ever finished, it sits in my folder, was in 1998. And one day, when I'm the person I need to be to finish that novel, I'll go back and finish it. But I'm not that person yet. But the story seed is there. And just little things every day. Yeah, just little steps. It doesn't have to be giant leaps, and you don't have to start everything all at once. Just little steps.
That's the best advice. I wish little Michelle had a big Alyssa to tell her that back in the day. What's the best way that people can get in contact with you or find out about your creative journey, support you? What's the best way that they can reach you?
Okay, so I'm active on all social media. So my Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are Alyssa Curtayne Stories, and I can give you the link for that. I've got a YouTube for my storytelling. I think it's Alyssa Curtayne. Oh, and my website is alyssacurtayne.com. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'll put the links to all of those in the comments so that everyone watching, make sure if you want to get in contact with Alyssa that you are following her on socials and supporting her. And what as a creative community, what can we do to best support you right now where you are in your journey? What can we do to help you get to the next level?
I guess maybe have a look at my website and see what things I've made. In the last 6 months, I've made more than 20 different products. And that's since I quit my job. So in 6 months, I've made more than 20 things. And and even if you're not interested in those things, maybe share them with someone who you think might be, or maybe gift something. I think that would be the best way. And just maybe, hey, I found this lady who's doing this thing. You might be interested. So something like that.
And that's so simple for all of us to do. So please, if you're watching, I will put a link to Alyssa's website. Jump on, have a look at all of the amazing things that she has created. There might be something there that would inspire you, or maybe you know someone who needs that big Alyssa in their life so that they can then go on their creative journey. Thank you so much for taking the time and coming and chatting to me today. It's really uplifting and motivating and heartwarming for me to meet somebody who thinks the way that I do. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to come and chat today.
No, thank you so much.